Aloha, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight for the Moana Nui podcast. We're very excited for tonight's podcast. I am Dana of Danique Events. I am a event, cosplay, and staff con photographer. A lot of you may have seen me at MomoCon, DragonCon, Anime Weekend Atlanta, and several other conventions. So we're so glad to have you on here. And also my co-host, the beautiful Moana.
Aloha, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in this week. My name is Moana, and I am the children's book author of The Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea, editor of the Wildcard Chronicles comic book series, self-publisher, independent champion, and lover of all things indie comics, and especially my indigenous peoples. So I'm so glad to be here tonight, and thank you so much.
And now we're going to introduce our guest for today. Barr Foxx is the founder of Cosplay Your Way, a cosplay artist and a television and film producer who has been featured in a variety of articles, books, and videos. As a seasoned panelist, Barr Foxx has presented panels at DragonCon, New York Comic Con, MomoCon, BlurCon, and HavenCon, to name a few. His mission is to create a safe haven for all those who desire to cosplay regardless of race, age, sex, size, or ability. He can be found on all social media at Barr Foxx and at Cosplay Your Way. And now, our special guest, Barr Foxx.
Wow. You know what? That intro is hot. I'm like, who is she talking about?
Whoa, I'm glad to have you on here.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Well, for those that don't know you that are tuning in right now, tell us a little about yourself. Where did you grow up, and how did you find yourself in cosplay and filmmaking?
Wow. So I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, little D town. And, you know, I had an interesting childhood because I was into art. So when I was younger, I ended up with my own television show. It was something similar to, I don't even know what I can compare it to, like a dance party show where people came on and danced, and then we interviewed and had people come and perform. So I ended up being the host of that. And then I got into choreography. So I started dancing for professional groups that came to the city. And what would happen if they didn't have any dancers, they would call me and my troupe, and we would perform for them or perform with them at the concert. So, you know, that was fun. And then I was like, I want more. So I started recording and tried to become a recording artist, which introduced me to all these different people. So the whole time, though, I was still reading my comic books, and I was still into my nerd culture because that was a strong part of me. And it's something that really helped me out when I was in elementary school and in junior high, because I could go to those places, because it was one of the few places time justice was served. You know, in the comic books, stuff would happen, but the good guys would win all the time, and I needed that. So I continued to grow, become creative, was into different things. I would find out that a lot of the national artists that I work with were into comics and stuff too. So that just made us bond even more. And I became that person that they called because I was on that nerd culture with them. And it just continued to grow. So I took a break for a long time and moved down here to Atlanta, and I was doing the music, and then it flipped to the production and the television and film. So I got into that. So when I was doing that in the beginning, I wasn't doing the nerd stuff as much. I wasn't doing the comic book stuff as much. But then I was asked to model for this convention, and when I modeled for it, DragonCon was going on at the same time. So I found myself splitting my time between both of the conventions. And when I went into DragonCon and saw my people all the people in costumes, and I was like, "What is this?" And people were like, "Oh, this Dragon Con." I'm like, "How often do you have this?" And it's like once a year. So it was crazy because I had to meet my responsibilities for the other convention because I was a guest. But I was at Dragon Con to the last moment every night, and then I would not bus over, I would run over to the other convention to fulfill my duty, and then run back to Dragon Con. It was crazy. So I knew at that moment, after that experience, that Dragon Con was going to be a part of my life as much as possible going forward. So that started me in the cosplaying and all of that stuff, which led to Cosplay Your Way, which led to Barr Foxx, and which led to our interview right now.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, that's so awesome. We're happy to be a part of your journey as you continue throughout, this geek life and being a contributor to this very vibrant community.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you founded Cosplay Your Way, which is an initiative to give a platform to anyone who cosplays, no matter their race, gender, age, or size. How long have you been doing this, and what inspired you to start it?
Okay, so kind of bittersweet story. I was walking around Dragon Con, enjoying myself, ignorant bliss, in heaven because I figured everybody loved everybody that did this because not so many people doing it. And the first year, I think I made it through without understanding or seeing that something else was going on. The second year, I kind of got a hint of some things, but then I was like, well, that can't be true. So by year three, it was undeniable that there is some separation at the con. So I
Mm.
saw photographers not taking pictures of people of color the same way. I saw people of color not getting the same chance, not being invited to stuff, and I was out there just perplexed. So that one photo shoot that I went to, and it was a girl her love, which she had on a great costume, so I understood. So I was like, oh, cool. So when I shoot with him, I'm going to get some great shots, and it's going to be great. And I stepped up to get my shot, and I don't even know if I straightened my costume out yet. And he was like, all right, got it, done. And I was like, what? I just stepped up there. And he was like, I got the shot. And I was like, all right. So I see this is a problem. So at that moment, I decided that I was going to do everything I could.
Mm-mm.
Uh-oh.
We have she's a little frozen on my side too.
Yeah, okay. So let him know he's frozen.
Sorry guys, bear with us. Technical difficulties.
Okay. I just pinged him to let him know that he's frozen on his end.
Okay. Sounds good. It was just getting good. Okay, yay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Where did it go out?
So, you started talking about the photographer when you got up there. He said he already got the picture, and that's where we lost you after that.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I got up there, was only up there for a second. He snapped the camera, maybe, I don't think he did. And he was like, oh, I have the picture, you're good. And I was like, what? This is crazy. So at that point, it was undeniable that there were some people out here that didn't appreciate people of color or didn't think that we deserved to be out there. So at that point, I decided that I was going to make sure I was going to do everything I could to push characters of color and people of color in cosplay. And every year I came back, it was going to be more, and I was going to spotlight them, and I was going to only. Sometimes I decided to only do Black characters for a while because I just wanted to represent who we were and do what we did. Now, the bright side of that is Marvel and DC Comics saw me, and they were ecstatic. So it was so interesting that you're dealing with people on the con floor that were giving you attitude, and then you go to the majors and they're like, come here, I have to shoot you. Who are you? I love what you're doing. I love your rendition. And, the smell of your skin, let's get it out there. And immediately that second or third year, I was in I was on Marvel's site, Marvel did a spotlight on their website and they put me up. And then I made it into the Cosplay in America book. So I was like, wow. So, maybe I'm doing something right. And because of that, I said, well, I want to make sure anybody that wants to do this, just like me, has the opportunity. And Cosplay Your Way is going to help them do it. And that means I'm going to get them professional photos if I can. I'm going to make sure the costumes look fantastic. Just give them all the secrets that I know and help them look their best and be their best so they can walk on the con floor confident. So if they are unfortunately met with racism or discrimination, they can stand tall and they can send that energy back and let them know that they're here and they're supposed to be here. So that was my goal. I know I'm long-winded, but that's what I want to do.
That's all right. Well, with you mentioning that, with the lack of people of color behind the camera and the creative process, how have you continued to make your mark as a TV and film producer?
Oh, wow. So with that, I did some wonderful things. So I worked with Magic Johnson, and he started a network, and I actually launched that network. And that network was specifically geared toward African Americans or people of color. So what I love that we did on that network that I was a pioneer of is profiles on people that were doing extraordinary things, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So the focus was to take people of color, all races, Asian, white, everybody, as long as they were of color, and spotlight them doing things like surfing, making chocolate, or just things you wouldn't expect people to do because we get typecast so much. And that was the most amazing project for me because I got to meet so many people and we got to push and meet some of the people that are amazing. The first ballerina that made it to, oh my God, what's her name again? The ballerina. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
You went out for a little bit. What did you said, what about the ballerina?
I was like, we got to talk to her first before she
made it
to her new level. The one that's out now, I can't remember her name. But she's awesome, so look her up. And there's a lot of people who in the beginning were doing stuff and now have gone on to do extraordinary things themselves and their businesses have grown. So that's what I've done with television and film. Then, I've done some fun shows or some raunchy shows too, like Beyond the Pole and some other stuff. But that show and then About Her Business was another wonderful show because that's where we spotlighted women, successful women of color who left their jobs, who left their six-figure jobs to start their own businesses. And showing them take that leap of faith was extraordinary. And we got to talk to some really amazing women that were making a change and did not let the construct of a job or the fear of what am I going to do hold them back. They had ideas and concepts. They said, to hell with this. They left their job, big paying jobs, and they started their own businesses, and they are killing it. And that type of freedom, I don't know. I don't even know if you can put a price on that.
That sounds like an amazing series.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's About Her Business.
Where can we find that?
BT.
BT. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, you definitely piqued my interest. So, it sounds like you worked on some amazing projects. What has been, take for example, the Magic Johnson project. What has been your favorite moment on site while you were, in production on that?
That is great. My favorite moment working on the set. You know what? It was probably when we were doing a Christmas movie, and I was working closely with the Coca-Cola team, and I didn't know some things that they did. Like I thought you just poured the Coke in the bottle and put it up there, but I didn't know that there was a specialist that came on set and made sure the color of the coat was perfect in the shot. So they added stuff and took stuff out. So for some reason, watching that, because I didn't have that knowledge, was so extraordinary for me. Because I was like, wow, I would have thought you could just bring in the soda, set it, plop it down, bring in the sandwich, pop it down, and move. But it was an actual team of people that just tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it every shot to get it perfect. So that was actually one of my favorite moments because I learned so much that I didn't know before. But I've had some great times on set. We have a good time. I have my own show called called Jam Sessions, and that's a show that I created for the Aspire Network and for Magic Johnson's network. And it was awesome because I got to bring on some of my favorite vocalists to perform, and that was great. So we had Avery Sunshine and Joe and Avant, and not Avant, we had Raheem Devon, and all these amazing people come on and perform, and got to hang out with them, and it was just a party. It was a party. I can't even lie, it was a party.
Man.
They sung, we partied, we danced. It was just the greatest experience. So I was able to do maybe 4 or 5 shows where I brought
Nice.
people in, and we did a Christmas show as well. So that was really cool because Anthony David and Selena Johnson was on the Christmas show. And Anthony is so amazing that he was like, look, I need some people on stage. So we all jumped on the stage with him while he was singing his Christmas song. And that was fun because that aired and we're up there with Anthony David, which definitely feeds into how much of a party and how much fun we had on set. It was just love. So doing that for the Magic Johnsons, that was amazing. So, I gave you a lot right there. So I have 3 favorites, I guess.
No, I love it. And you mentioned some of my favorite R&B artists, from back in the day. So yes.
Well, check out the show. Check out the show. That is my show. I don't even push this enough. I don't even know if I talked to Dana about this show. That is
you
my
haven't.
show, my brainchild, what I developed, what I created, what I directed. It is called Jam Sessions.
Jam Sessions. And where can we find that?
That's airing on Aspire.
Aspire. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So we'll definitely have to check that out on Aspire to check out Jam Sessions so we can see that your baby, your brainchild and everything, and just see that magic, that fun, that partying that you just mentioned, that we could feel like we're part of it.
You will. It's a jam session. Like you really were there. It's like you're there.
Nice. Now, earlier you were talking about, some of the toxicity that we tend to see not in geek spaces. And even to the point now with social media, those keyboard warriors that tend to toxify, not only at conventions, but about cosplay, gaming. There, these gatekeepers, so-called gatekeepers about everything. What is the importance of promoting people of color in these spaces?
It is important to me because you have to give people confidence and you have to let them know that they have allies, because you're going to be met, unfortunately, with people that are toxic, with people that are trying to kill your energy, dull your shine. And if they don't know that we're out here, if they don't know that Denise is out here, Cosplay Your Way, with all the people that's trying to make sure, to the best of their ability, that they are promoted and spotlighted and have a safe place. If they don't know that we exist, we could lose some really creative, some really dynamic people in the world of cosplay, in the art of cosplay. Take Dean's List, for instance. Prior to doing cosplay and going to DragonCon, he had no desire to be a designer. He had no desire to create costumes. This opened up a whole new world for him, opened up a whole new life. Cosplay Your Way was non-existent prior to me going to DragonCon. So if we don't let people know that they have allies here, we could potentially not see some great people in the future grow. The foam smiths, the photographers, and all the other creative art people. And it's my mission to make sure that they're protected. I mean, I'll even go and argue with them. I mean, we shouldn't be arguing out there, but I want people of color to know that I have your back, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do this or you shouldn't be here. Because I've had a lot of conversations with people because I do work in television and film. It's really annoying to see people come in and think that they are the character. And I'm like, how obsessive are you when we constantly see characters change race, change sex, change body type, and all the different platforms? I mean, from video games to cartoons to live action, it's a different look. So for you to just sit and say, all right, I like the people from 1986, and that's canon and that's what it should be, is completely asinine to me. And then a lot of times, if we're going to break you down for getting cast for something, a lot of you don't meet what we need for the screen. So you don't need to come in and act like you own something. Enjoy people. I'm not telling you you have to like everything, but I am saying that if you don't like it, keep pushing and find something that you do like. Because why are you on the floor? Why are you in the space? Why are you on the internet trying to find negative things to say about people when you could just move on if you don't like it and find that person that's really wowing you? Because somebody out there is doing a great job for you. Find him and her and stay out of everybody else's way. That's my thought process.
I know that's right.
Exactly.
So we often see Cosplay Your Way working with different photographers and graphic designers and other creatives. How important is collaboration in not just cosplay, but in your work as a producer?
So this is where I think I shine. This is where I fall in love. This is where the creative process just turns into something magical for me. Working with the photographers, working with graphic artists, creating series and themes is so exciting because I am a creative at heart. So I love to go in and we just don't know what the hell we're gonna do. So we talk and we're like, okay, this is the idea, this is the concept. And we look up in a month or so and we have these beautiful pieces of art and we have these beautiful artistic expressions out there. And that can't happen until and unless you work with people with good energy, with creative energy, and with skill set. And that's what I do at Cosplay Your Way. When I say I like to spotlight photographers just as much as the cosplayers. I'm going to say this. I know somebody's going to say, no, you didn't. I think I can't confirm it, but I think I'm the first person, definitely one of the first people to make sure photographers were getting acknowledged in my posts on Instagram and social media. Because prior to me, I'm going to say it, prior to me, I didn't see anyone think they're photographers. I didn't see anyone think they're designers. It was all about, hey, I'm a cosplayer and it's me and I'm great. So in the field that I work in, it's all about credit. Sometimes we can't pay people when you're working on some of the smaller projects. What you can do is make sure that person has credit. So when I came into cosplay, I already had that mindset that if I didn't do it, give credit to the person that did it because that's the least I can. And I started that and I put it out there. And I'm going to go on the record. I think I'm one of the first people that I saw and I looked for it because I was like, why is nobody saying anything about the photographer or designer or makeup artist? Because these people are really making you pop. It's because of them that you look so good. And I didn't see it. So I was like, you know what? No more. When I put it up and post, photographer, makeup artist, designer, wig person, whoever contributed to that overall look for me, I try my best to make sure they get some type of accolade and credit. Because without them, I wouldn't be where I am. Without them, the Barr Foxx brand and Mystique wouldn't be complete. And working with, I have the most amazing wig lady. I just, little Mina from Mina's Fashion, she makes sure we look fantastic no matter what type of wig we do. She takes on the challenge and she wants to do the elaborate stuff. So I would be remiss not to mention her when I post the pictures because I want her to also get additional work as well. So that's been my mentality, and because of my training in production and television and film, and how we kind of do a hierarchy, I brought that to cosplay as well. And hopefully it's been good. I bring people onto my panels. I do my best. So to make sure everyone gets their shine, I really try to do my best. I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I have, let me know. We're gonna make it right. But I don't think I have. I think I do a good job. Dana has seen me work for many years, so she's doing it better than me.
Yeah, I love that you do that because it's such a partnership, right? There's the subject of the photo, there's the makeup artist, who did all the work beforehand, the photographer, like all of it. Like everybody is one part of the system, and if one part is not working right, you just can't create the magic. So I really love that you give the credits to everybody. Just like it's like the end credits at the end of a movie, right? Like to make this greatness that you just saw, here are the thousands of people that worked on it,
Right. Right, and don't overlook them. I mean, it's people that help us do posing. It's just so much that goes into it. And then you know what? Even sometimes the person that's just there hyping us up and playing the music, like that person deserves a shout too, because you
Yeah.
got to keep the energy up. But definitely the photographers, the makeup artists, and wig and designers and foamsmiths that create the weapons and stuff. We most of the time don't just come in the door ready and have everything that we need. It's stuff that happens and a lot of processing that goes on. And I need those people to be recognized and to be honored as well. So I'm going to continue to do my best to do that.
Yeah. Well, definitely speaking about your photographers and videographers, you have teamed up with some amazing videographers and photographers inside and outside of cosplay. You've worked with talents like Andrew Michael Phillips of AMP Photography and AMP Cosplay. You've even brought me on board as one of your photographers and so many more. How do you decide who you want to work with on these projects?
Oh gosh, so it's a couple of things. So some people, I look up their stuff first and see how they shoot and what they shoot and who they shoot. And then other people, their presence and energy, because I love people who have a dynamic energy. And with you, Dana, I know you hadn't shot in a studio before, I don't think.
Yeah.
But your energy and your knowledge of the characters and what you brought to the table just motivated me. And I wanted to see what you would do. Because again, in the world that I'm in, you definitely like to go with the season a lot of times. But we don't make progress until we let somebody new in the door to open up our eyes to something new and to expand our horizon. So you were that person for me because I was like, I want to see what she's going to do because she loves it and she's pure. And I need that. I want that raw energy. And that's what you brought. Like you have people jumping, you have people turning around and screaming and bringing them out of their, I guess we'll call it their comfort zone to get a shot that makes them stand out amongst the crowd. So it's a combo. It's a combo of working with people whose work I've seen and I like what they do visually, and then working with people where I see their passion and I see their approach and what they do and how they handle stuff. So I'm just really both ways. Yeah, for you specifically, meeting you and feeling your great energy, I was like, yeah, let's give her a shot. Let's see what she can do. And when I was 3 years later, and you killed it.
Yeah,
one of our favorite
I'm still doing it.
Like it's like we'd be posting, it's like, oh, Dana's picture. So yeah. I think I got it right, Moana. I think I did when I picked Dana.
Oh yes, most definitely. Dana's awesome. I really picked up one thing that you said, like we don't learn until we let someone new into the door to see something. Like that needs to be on a shirt or something. Like it can just like that's such a concept and a simple thing though that we sometimes forget, right? Like I think some folks we're out here and maybe we're trying to prove ourselves in a certain space, right? And we get so focused on trying to make something better when like tapping on somebody else who's who might be talented or could fill in a gap on something that you might not be good at, and you're like, I never saw something that way, and it's like, oh, okay, and it can shift your whole entire
Right.
like approach and just like help you get out of a creative rut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The reason why I've had that mentality is in school I studied marketing, and we really were not a fan of monopoly. And they would always say, if you monopolize or you have a monopoly, these are the downfalls, the pros and cons of that. Mm-hmm. And each time we studied that, it seemed like it was a simple answer to just open your eyes and doors to a new concept and a new person. It's like, why would you continually close everything out? So I left school with that mindset of, you know what, we have a closely knit team here. Let's invite one more person in to shake it up. With the photo shoot that we do, the annual photo shoot we did, I had my favorite, but then I'm like, hey, I want to invite at least 6 new people we've never worked with before. Give them a chance to get some wonderful shots and let their energy become part of our energy, and then we can learn something probably from that as well. And it's been working, and luckily nobody crazy has come in and made that concept and ideal a bad idea. But to piggyback on what you're saying, I am a firm believer in opening the door, letting go of the reins a little, letting somebody else come in, listening, and getting more ideas and opening your mind up to something else or seeing it through a different lens, because we can't grow unless we do that. And things change so quickly. Before COVID, the way we approach television and film is different now because COVID has come into play. So when I get back onto the set, when I get back onto the show, it's going to be a whole different approach, and I'm going to have to adjust to that. And those are the things I'm talking about, being open to change and being open to people coming in and kind of showing you a different side of things. And I like to do that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people, I mean, we see it in the con world, cosplay world, and everything. They have this mindset that this is how it's always been done. These are how pictures always been done. This is how it's always been done. But then you see the downside of it is you see cons that die out because they're not growing. You have cosplayers that lose traction because they're not changing things up. And you have photographers that, okay, you're still you're photographing the same 3 people all the time.
Right.
You're at DragonCon. There's over almost 1 million people at DragonCon. You can only photograph these 3 people at DragonCon. So it's one of those that I know me personally, and I think that makes me the way I photograph, and when I look at people to photograph them, it's like I just sit there and I'm like, this person looks amazing. Why are y'all ignoring this awesomeness? And then it's just like, you may not do this, but I'm going to photograph it my way. And then if you don't like it, as long as the cosplayer likes it, or whoever I'm photographing this for likes it, I don't care what you think.
Exactly.
But then you fast forward, and the same people who doubt you, it takes something tragic or big like COVID to happen to force change.
And that's so sad because, as you stated, which I want to bring up, see people who did the monopoly and they're no longer standing strong. And a lot of people that we saw when you came into Dragon Con in the cosplay world, when I started, those people are no longer the it people, or they're no longer in a group anymore. And that's okay because things change. So many things have happened in cosplay. I mean, back when I started, there were no 3D printers, so that changed the game tremendously. It was just a lot of stuff. It wasn't that many black people or people of color cosplaying, and that's changed tremendously. So all these things have changed. And if you are a person stuck on what you want it to be, you really got left behind because it's a whole new world. New beautiful people of color cosplaying, new functions, 3D printing, the way they're approaching it. Being a cosplayer became a thing that you could monetize, make money on, get invited as guests. It just became this whole thing as the world continued to grow. Movies decided to put out a lot of superhero movies. Cosplay was getting on bigger platforms. So I was featured on BET. I guess that was 2 years ago now. They came out there. It's like now people are recognizing what's going on. And I'm just going to say it. I was so excited to be on DC Fandom. Like, now I can retire. That was amazing. Millions of pictures came in. Millions of pictures came in. And DC Fandom cared enough to put up Barr, Foxx. And I was so enamored and excited to be a part of the show and to watch that global international program and see Barr, Foxx up there, along with some of my other friends. And I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is almost like the Holy Grail. But wouldn't have done that if I stayed stuck in my corner and did it my way all the time and just like, I'm not going to work with this and do this. That's crazy. That's nonsense. I hope I never get to that point. I hope I never feel like I have everything I need and I'm never going to venture out and add something else to the pot and shake it up. I just don't want to be that person. So Dana, if I'm ever that person, or more honest, I'm ever that person, just shake me up, slap me, and say, hey, this is not going to work. And sir, if you keep it up, you're going to be a has-been.
Right.
I've been in the game for a long time, and I'm thankful that I'm still here. People still come to see Barr, Foxx. I'm still invited to be a guest at Dragon Con and New York Comic Con and different things. And I am absolutely flattered by that because, we're talking over 10 years. And a cosplayer being on the scene and having some type of relevancy for over 10 years or for 10 years is a big thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful.
Yep. Shout out to you for all you're doing and continue to do, being the continuous learner.
Exactly.
So for the past few years, you've helped to put together the Cause Noir 28 Days of Cosplay, which you do each year with a different theme and look. How did you come up with the theme for each year and make it all happen?
Wow, so this is great. So the first year, I was like, I need to do something more than just talk, more than just panels. And Atlanta is filled with amazing cosplayers of color and beautiful people. So that year, the first year was so extraordinary because I was really stuck on my magazine covers. And ideas just come to me, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. Can we make it happen? And because I work with so many people and see so many things, I'm like, ooh, that's a great concept. How can I apply that to cosplay? So the magazine cover was so phenomenal because not only did we get to pull the photographers in for the first time, get to get great shots of the cosplayers, but I spoke to each cosplayer to get their taglines and their article covers to put on the cover of the magazine. So most of the stuff that you read on the cover is stuff that they're going through or ways that they're feeling. And that was a lot of work, but at the same time, it was extraordinary because it made it so personal. And
Yes.
I was so excited about that. And then since we're all stuck on
And you had a lot of people asking when those magazines were coming out too.
yes, yes. So we did them so well, Moana, that people were like, "Where can we get this magazine?" One of my favorites is a guy called me and he said, "Hey, I would like to buy some advertising in your magazine." That was like, that's sweet, but we don't have a magazine. It's just a thing we did, like a some
Well
pictures.
done.
He was like, "Oh well, I wanted to pay. I was ready to buy it." I was like, "That's sweet, but it's we're not doing it." But nonetheless, so each year we're like, "Okay, well, we don't want to repeat what we did last year." So again, trying to grow and trying to learn. And sometimes things are better and they're not, but it doesn't matter. We just want to learn. So the second year, oh God, what did we do then? And the second year was the I don't even know what we did the second year, but it was
Was it?
so cute.
It was. I thought it was.
The, like the tarot card.
Let's see, because first year was the magazine covers, and then the second year you did it was. I'm looking.
Trading cards.
It was like trading cards. Yeah, it was just trading cards.
So, because that was something from my childhood that that was really fun. So I was like, let's make trading cards this year. So we did the trading cards, and then the third year, we got with some artists, and they were really into the art. I think it was like art noir, art.
Yeah. It was giving that 20s, the 1920s look to the different art. Yeah.
And it was so wonderful because a young lady came on board and she was like, "I want to do this," and I looked at her stuff and I was like, "I want you to do this." And what I love about her, which is so interesting, is she's not a person of color, and she was like, "This is something I want to do," and she actually lost friends and associates because she did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Wow, this is how deep this runs." That a person that is just bringing artistic skill set to our overall vision, which should just be appreciated for that, had people in their lives that were so upset that she was doing it for people of color that she had to distance herself from them and no longer associate with them because she thought it was so important to do it. And I love her for it. I didn't want her to lose friends or associates over it, but at the same time, I love that she stood her ground, and I love that she wanted to participate with it. And it opened my eyes to again how deep this goes and how little things that we're doing, like our annual shoot, is affecting people in so many ways and having such a wonderful snowball effect and sometimes a snowball effect that alters their life.
Yeah.
Because they're forced to look at stuff from a different lens. But yeah, so I have so much fun. So with the themes and the stuff that we come up with, I just sit, I think, I kind of feel what I've been going through for the year, what I've been going through for the month, what I want to do next year, and I just bring stuff together. So our new one that we're going to do, I have a picture of Dana. I don't know if she showed you, is for the documentary that we're going to do, and it's a half and half. So we're half in costume and half out of costume in the same photo. So that was cool because we had to take two different photos and merge them together to get one look. And I wanted that look because there we go, yay! So I wanted that look to kind of show us in and out of cosplay and how it's two different worlds, one person, two different worlds, and how beautiful it is when those two worlds collide. There she is, Dana, my MVP. So what was wonderful about Dana, she was behind the scenes. She was a photographer. She was coming in, and then it was like, girl, we got to get you in front of the camera. You are beautiful. You have these wonderful concepts, and we pulled her and pulled her and pulled her. So now she has double duty. She's double duty now. She comes in and shoots. She comes in and models. does it all. So, you know, thank you, Dana.
Multifaceted.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, back to the subject of film. If you could work with anyone in film, who would it be and why?
I am such a fan of um, Shonda Rhimes. I love her. I just feel like she is a person that created shows that let everyone of every race. It's like watching a Benetton ad on TV. Come in and act. Like she started off with an Asian lead, a black lead, and when I watch her shows, it's so much about the content. It's so much about the acting prowess and the fact that I can look at her set, I can look at her shows and her cast and see a rainbow of people is amazing to me. And for her to have come from where she came from and to get the network to allow her to do that, because a lot of times these networks they push back so hard. We come in with a fast. They be like, "Oh, I like the show, Jabbar, but we want to change out Dana." And it's like, well, the show is called Dana. So how do you change out Dana? And they're like, "Oh, so weirdness all the time." And Shonda has done something that I just don't think was done before her. Did it so eloquently. So I would love to sit with her. I would love to work with her. There's so many people, but I would really like to work with her.
Great
Very
choice.
nice.
So which of the films that you have produced, which are you most proud of?
Ooh, so I am most proud of the. Which one? Well, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm most proud of my show. I sat home one day, some things I wanted to accomplish in my life, and I love music, and the fact that I was able to create a show that brought on my favorite artists and get some of the biggest sponsors the network ever had to attach to the show was amazing because people were telling me nobody cares about music shows anymore. And I was like, how can we not care about music shows when music is like the bloodline of so many things? It actually helps people come together that didn't think they would come together. And they were like, nobody cares. So to hear that and to still bring a show to the network, get it on, and for it to do so well, and to see that sponsors jumped on it and wanted to be a part of it, and it pulled in so much, just was a reminder to me that sometimes you just can't listen to the naysayers, and you need to push through with what you know and what you feel. So that show, my show, Jam Sessions, is definitely one of my favorites. It gave me credit. It let me combine what I love, TV, film, and music in one thing. And that filled my heart. So the next thing that's going to fill my heart, though, is the documentary that I'm doing. That's combining my other love. So now it's TV, film, and cosplay. So yeah, when I do stuff that's personal like that, it just makes me feel good. Because again, I'm a creator, and we walk into the room and we just have a banana peel and a piece of tape and a box, and we're like, well, what are we going to create? And we come out of there with a show. So I get excited doing that type of stuff, especially when I can pull in elements of things that I like. That I really like.
Beautiful. Yes. That just allows you to bring out that creativity that you have and bringing some of that passion into those films and the shows.
It does, and you care, and you should care when you're producing, and you should care when you're directing. It's not just about the money. You really should care about the project because it turns out differently when you are passionate about what you're doing and you care about it.
Yes. Now, things that you are passionate about or care about, who are some of your favorite cosplayers, whether you worked with them directly or you just admire them from afar? Who are some of your favorite cosplayers?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. Wow, who can I do? I love Tranquil Ashes. I think she is so dope. She is
Yes.
um, I love Ashley. I forgot what her cosplay name is from New York, but she is amazing. Um, I am a fan of these songs. The Cardboard Smith. Like he is just dope. He makes all this armor looking stuff out of cardboard. So it's
Mm.
like, whoa, how are you doing that? And then of course I have my favorites. You know, I love cosplay and I love Team and Super Fit with Reed. That's just my baby. I'm always grabbing with
Yeah.
her. Shattered Images, Cartoon. His stuff is so good. It's so many cosplayers out here. I try to shoot with as many of them as I can and work with as many of them as I can. And that's why I love going to different areas and going to different cities and making sure we don't just be the South cosplayers and then they're the North cosplayers. I'm like, erase all that mess. I'm a cosplayer. I love everybody. So getting up to DC and getting up to the North and mingling with those people is wonderful because I want us to all be bridged together. No separation from South to North to West to East. Not for me. You know, we are all PLC cosplayers having a good time, and I want to support you and push you, and that's what I'm going to do if you like it or not. So,
Yeah.
those are just
Unapologetic.
some. Yeah, and I have a long list of people, so if I didn't name someone, please don't think that I don't love you. I'm just having a brain freeze right now, but it's like so many people. You
Yeah.
can see on my page, I'm always shouting you guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much love for the cosplay community. So with the pandemic, how has it changed how you work both on set and for Cosplay Your Way?
It's been very different because a lot of it has been virtual. Um, and with the way I work in television and film, because I can story produce from home, it it works and it's an adjustment that I made. But you know, it's something about not being in the room and being able to brainstorm as I like to do and maybe look at something differently. So I think the downfall to it is that I'm here and it's just me and it's my thoughts and I kind of like to be interrupted and things interjected so I can say, whoa, I didn't even think about it like that and redirect it. And I don't get that now. So now it's just me being in the zone. And luckily, I'm trained and I do a good job and I don't mind getting notes afterwards. But I kind of miss that in the kitchen making the gumbo mentality. And then you got somebody that's like, oh, put some more salt in there, put some more garlic in there. You're like, what? Ah, what's that in there? And they throw it in and it's awesome. So I kind of like, I miss that part of it for the television and production side. And then, not being able to get on the set with a full crew, having a scaled back crew sometimes is not as fun because I love a full crew. I love a full set. So now we got to be like, all right, you meet me, and it's just these two people. We're going to do this, and we can't move as many places, and we can't bring in as many people, and crafty has to be like, yeah, all that stuff is very disruptive. So, but with cosplay, it's been interesting because I've had an online cosplay contest. I've done some online panels. It's it's not bad. I miss people. I miss being able to be in the energy again. But online stuff that we've done has actually helped some people zero in on something a little better or a little tighter, and we've been able to have really good conversations and really good guidance in certain directions. One of the new panels that I came up with that I did was on imposter syndrome, and that's probably something I wouldn't have thought about doing if we were still in the energy of everything. And imposter syndrome is something that really needs to be talked about because a lot of us are suffering from it or exposed to it or dealing with it. And I love that we were able to scale it back, bring it in, and talk about some deeper topics. So, it's been some pros and cons, but I won't lie. I'm a hugger. I love the energy. I love seeing how somebody flipped that costume in a different way or came at it from a different angle. So I absolutely miss being out in the crowd because I'm a social vampire. I really am. I just feed off of the energy and keeping me locked up in a sense and not being able to touch and talk is taking away some of my energy. But thankfully we have this and we have Zoom and some other things where we can talk to people and we snuck and did a photo shoot and that was risky, but we made it thankfully. So little things like that recharge
Exactly. Now, of course, this year for Black History Month, you decided to take the 28 days of Black cosplay to a new level. You coordinated not only the photo shoot you mentioned, but also filming a documentary. You actually gave us a little small clip to give people a little snippet of what to know. So, Moa's getting ready to go play this little clip for y'all.
me.
But we're not getting any of the audio. Moana?
For emotional trauma taught me that greatness can be born out of darkness. As much as I love the characters, their powers, their plight, and their need to fight for justice, I did not see enough people of color represented in comics. In fact, I saw more aliens than melanated people, which often had me yearning for something that was out of reach for a young, adventurous boy whose creative expression was not always welcomed or accepted. As I matured, I wanted to create a way to push characters of color to the forefront so that the future generations could see themselves reflected in the art. I did that through cosplay. Now the time has come to make sure that people of color who desire to express themselves through cosplay are pushed to the forefront and recognized for their contributions to the craft. Yes, representation matters, and we proudly cosplay in color.
Wow,
All
this was
right,
the first
that
time that
was.
was played.
Well, that
This was
was
the first time.
amazing snippet.
Yeah, you guys debuted that. This was the first time it was played. That was awesome. It was great, and I hope people watch it. It's going to be on Freely TV, which you can get on Apple, your Fire Stick, and all Android things. And I hope people take the time to check it out because it was so fun putting that together and pulling all the pieces together. Because it didn't start off a documentary. It didn't start off a project that I was going to put together, but COVID hit. I had all this footage, all this wonderful talent sitting in front of me, and I was like, whoa, you know what? We can put this together and do something. And that's what I did. And I hope it's well received because it's so much good information in there and so many great people that contributed to it. So thank you for showing it.
Beautiful, thank you. And when would they be able to see it on Greenleaf? When will it finally debut for people to watch it?
So the debut will be the 11th of the February. I'm still stuck in 2020. So February 11th on Freely TV. Free to download, free to watch. It has wonderful PLC content all over the place, but definitely download it to watch the Cosplay Your Way in color documentary, who is featuring Dana. Dana all over it. Dana Humble. We probably could have called it the Dana documentary because she's killing it. So definitely check it out. Freely TV is a wonderful streaming service. It gives you great content catered to you, people of color, and I'm so thankful that they wanted to put the Cosplay Away documentary on. That's really special to me. So I hope it's
Beautiful.
fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah, that's
You're going to
fantastic.
learn a lot about it.
Thank you so much for letting us be the first to debut it. Woohoo!
Yes, that's cool. It's like, hey, why not? Moana is the first to debut it. You got first dibs.
Thank you so much.
I haven't put it out anywhere. It's like you're the first, so that's cool. But it looks
Yeah.
good. So thank you.
No, it's amazing. I'm looking forward to checking it out once it's available on February 11th. So with all of that said, can you tell us about any more upcoming projects that we should be on the lookout for, that we can catch on TV and film, or that you have coming up with Cosplay Your Way?
Couple of things that are coming up that I hope will manifest this year. I am an original character called Karma in a comic book that's coming out, and then the comic book or the comic series is called the Greenville Triangle. So I'm really looking forward to that. They've made my character a little edgy. I'm similar to Doctor Strange character.
Okay.
I have powers like that, and then I guess I'm a little wild. I date everybody. I think he's bisexual, and I think he's a little wild in the streets, but we'll see as they develop the character more. Sounds like he has a way more exciting life than I do. So that's great. So we're doing that. That's going to be good. And then there's a show that I can't really talk about that I pitched that I really, really hope gets greenlit. If that happens, that's going to make my world. So if that gets picked up and dropped, definitely we can come back and talk about it again. That's going to be
Okay.
yeah, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for it. So that's what I'm working on now, and push this documentary, get that show greenlit because it's at the stage where somebody's going to make a decision. So fingers are crossed, and that'll be a sitcom if that gets picked up. So then I have the pressure of trying to keep it on for 10 years so I can go into syndication. So those are my goals coming up. And with cosplay, we are waiting to get back out in the streets, get to see each other, lose this COVID weight, and take some great pictures. Because COVID came in, brought some weight with it. It's like I can't fit into everything, but hopefully in a few months I will be back to being able to squeeze in my costumes. So I'm going to have to get Dean's List to make me a whole new set because we got to widen a bit.
We're going to be investing into some space and some, all those little things like that to get us looking right for cosplay once again. Because that first year back to cosplay, everybody going to be.
Girl, I'm like, what happened? I didn't know the cosplay kept us in shape like this, man. I guess knowing that we have photo shoots coming up, just made you subconsciously want to, look whatever your best is. Mm-hmm. And it kept us kind of working toward that, and to have that alleviated and say, oh, you don't have a photo shoot for 6 months. I think I was like, well, let's eat.
Right.
And let's do stuff. Which is fine if you want to do that. I'm not knocking it. I just would have preferred to be able to eat as much as I want and stay the same size that I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about the food. Ain't no shame in my game.
We are foodies all day. So I don't even know how I thought without exercising that I was going to eat, and I love it. What do we love? Our Korean barbecue.
That's right.
Yeah. Can't wait to have some Korean barbecue.
Yes.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Jabbar. We really enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you for sharing, your wisdom, your knowledge, your perspective, and also giving us a sneak peek into all of the fun things that you have in store in the future. We're so grateful to, have you in our community. And I think I speak for a lot of the cosplayers out there and folks in film and all the people that you work with and others who might be aspiring to do some of the things that you do. Thank you for being a great model, a role model. Thank you for being a great leader. And thank you, most importantly, for being inclusive and just mindful of everyone who's in the community. So guys, please go check out Jabbar's new project on Freely TV, February 11th. Let's blow it up. Let's share the love on that.
Share it, push it.
Yeah, share it, like it. You all know what to do. Let's go viral. But yeah, so thank you so much. And before we end, I'll just do a quick shout out to our season 2 sponsor, Chat and Draw with Mike Watson. He has a campaign on Kickstarter that's still live for a couple more days. So if you guys want to check out his show some support there. He does amazing artwork for a lot of different independent creators. And if you, as a cosplayer, perhaps you're looking to get some art done to help your promotion efforts and and get your own brand out there, check out the show. He has a couple guest spots on there, and he's such an amazing creator and writer and another contributor to the community. And then our comic book, The Wildcard Chronicles, is going to be in a comic book anthology that is launching on Kickstarter on February 15th. So be on the lookout for that. And check us out online at moananuipodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to Twitch, and you can also find us on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yolanda, Walter, Dedrin, Simone, Valencia, Alexis, a few other names that I'm sure I'm missing. I'm just looking at the ones I'm seeing now. Thank you guys so much. Take care, and we will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, everybody.